Step into the scene, it's a vibe we create. There's in love on the move, never running late. Blueprints and dreams on the table they spin. Every door they unlock lets a new life begin. Deals in the making, keys to the sky, turning houses to homes under every why. Agents on the grind, lifestyle and decor, lighting up the streets with what we adore. Real to chronicles, we hustle and shine. There's in love, working magic, sign after sign. Lifestyle international.
So I think it is going to be an amazing way to bridge the gap and connect the diaspora with the continent through real estate. One of the best feelings someone can have is the feeling of home ownership. And everyone needs a place to live. Everyone needs a home. So we feel like bridging the gap and building communities is how we would do that.
Until everything's right, catching that glow when the deal is sealed. The future unlocked, the destiny revealed.
Hello.
Hey.
We are back. Another Realtor Chronicles. So super excited to be here and super excited to have Cecile Crawford with us today. And Cecile is actually going to be speaking and hosting our Wow Wednesday coming up on the 29th at 6 p.m. at the Continental Club, downtown Greensboro. So right where Elm Street and Westgate City Boulevard meets, that big white building that you see, that's where we're going to be. So Cecile, thank you so much for joining us today. And tell everybody a little bit about who you are. Who is Cecile Crawford? Like, what does Greensboro mean to you?
Yeah, so everyone just calls me Cece, so I hope you guys will too. I am from the area that I live in currently, which is over here near Bennett College, off of Gate City Boulevard. I come from a family of educators who also owned businesses. So my grandfather had a store over on the hill. My mom had a gift shop over at Alamance Church Road. And then she currently has a business now at the farmer's market, the Greensboro Farmers Curb Market. So business is really a serious business, no pun intended, in this family, though, because educators don't make enough. And so, those small businesses help keep the families afloat. So I'm really looking forward to being able to talk to other business owners and figure out how we can begin to develop and fill in the gaps over here in District 2 with small businesses that are owned by us and that are shopped by us, right?
And you know what's interesting? I live in Greensboro. Des lives in Charlotte. But we opened up this lifestyle office last November 1st. So we're getting ready for our 1-year anniversary coming up. And we're having an anniversary party at the same place on November 1st. It's a day party, 90s theme. So hope you can make it.
Yes, best dress contest. So you gotta dress in that 90s style now.
But
we contest too, so
not a problem.
So one of the issues I found or I realized is, you know what, I'm purchasing things for our office outside of the triad. This isn't right. And so, the partners, we were like, all right, well, what can we do to do something more in the community? And that's how we came up with Wow Wednesday. So the W is for wisdom. So we'll have someone that's special like yourself come in and educate the small business owners and real estate agents in the area. The O is for opportunity, where we do some speed networking, because there's nothing worse than going to a networking event and you're not
networking.
Yeah.
So
we leave with absolutely no numbers, no connections,
no next steps, no nothing, right? Yeah.
So the O is for opportunity. And then at the end, we love being positive, spreading love. And so we like for people to share their wins, because that just brings real energy into everything that we're doing. So at the end, we share wins. So that is what the WOW stands for. But it was
I like
just
that. I
very,
like that.
thank you. It was very important for us to let businesses know, hey, we're here. We want, we go to the hair salon, we go to the car wash, we'll do dry cleaning, we go to the nail shop, we need our car fixed, we need an attorney. So it's like, where do we find these people? Are they in Greensboro? Is Greensboro alive?
It really is. We used to have so many of these businesses in our community, right? Down Market Street and Phillips Avenue and down Gate City Boulevard. Like we had everything that we needed until you get this like neighborhood revitalization from these great ideas that come down from the city. But I'll tell you, some of the ways that small businesses were hurt were when we started a mall, like when we opened a mall, and everyone wanted to go to this brand new, really great, centralized space where they could get everything in one place, right? And we began to see Walmarts popping up, and then you get the internet and all of these businesses on the internet, and so it begins to chip away at our small businesses that we have in our communities. So, I mean, it's a really complex issue that we could have a whole conversation about that itself. But then we also have to talk about how small Black businesses in Black communities have to go to white boards to get seed money to start or grow a business. And a lot of times those boards don't understand our community. And so they don't understand maybe a business plan that fits perfectly in the culture of our community, but these boards don't understand the culture of our community. And then we also have to talk about the fact that we don't have that in most cases inherited wealth, and that's not just the money and the capital to back it up. It is also those networks, those generational networks where businesses and corporations have been working together by grandma and grandpa and great grandma and grandpa. Like a lot of that kind of inherited wealth is not apparent in our communities. And so we did. I mean, I could go to Parker Brothers there on East Market Street. I don't know if y'all remember that. Ooh, that was some good food. And then, but there were places that were close by, and through a number of factors, like that is why we don't have it now. And so we have to figure out how to support our businesses and being able to access the seed money. And even before that, to understand what a successful business plan looks like. And having the places that are giving out these loans or grants understand the culture of the neighborhoods in which these businesses will go in. I use Gene Blackman as an example, right? Prestige Barber College is like a treasure in our community. It's over off of Phillips Avenue. It is, basically a trade school, but it helps young folks build out their own small businesses and build out their own wealth. And these are a lot of times folks who just didn't see a future as a small business owner. But when he went to go and access that seed money, those boards didn't understand the culture of our community and didn't think that they told him it wasn't a viable business. And yet it is an extremely viable business in our community. And again, like I said before, a treasure. And just imagine how he felt when he left that meeting to hear that his business was not viable. Thank God that he didn't listen and he found
Right,
another way. But I hear this from so many business owners, especially Black business owners, that have ideas for our community. But if you don't know the culture, you don't understand what will do well here.
Yeah. And shout out to Gene Blackman and his wife, Kedrian Blackman. Kedrian is a lifestyle international realty agent. So we are super excited to have her on our team. And they actually had a back to school event that, I think there were like 600 people at that event. And we were happy to be able to support that event. But our goal as real estate agents, as business professionals, as people that want to support our community, our goal is to just put everybody together in the same room so that we can do this. If we do it together, it can be done. But if no one comes out, no one tells us about their business, no one has access to the resources that you're sharing, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Right.
Yeah, and I say we, Lisa McMillan and I started something called What's in Your Hands. It is a community initiative to bring resources into the community, and we understand really well like what that kind of issue of getting folks into the room so that we can hand off the resources that we hear that they need.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes it's just, well, one, folks don't know, right? We just have to find where they are to make sure they know. And then two, there is a little bit of like hopelessness, right? And the fact that people say they have resources, well, there must be something tied to it, right? Or they want some money for me to get access to these resources. There are a number of reasons that I've heard for people to feel like they probably won't be helped when they get into the room. And that's why I'm excited about being with you all next week is I want to hear from businesses, like what are the issues that they're having in starting their business, in sustaining their business, in growing their business. And I've even asked someone from the Chamber of Commerce to join us next week. And what they do is they liaison between those funds, the funding, and the small businesses. And how can they hear some of the barriers that small businesses are uplifting while we are having these conversations, and then help to start the conversation around having networks and streamlining the processes for businesses to be able to access everything that they need. I mean, even just starting the process,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And it doesn't start without hearing from the businesses, not what we think businesses need, but what businesses are saying they need.
That
Um,
is so amazing. And we're so grateful that you are going to come and listen and hear and support the needs of the small businesses. So thank you so much. Now you're also running for city council. Tell
I
us about
am.
that.
Yes. So running for the district in which I live in, which is District 2. You all mentioned real estate. One of the biggest issues that we have in our district is around housing. And so, we hear the road to 10,000, and we want to make sure that we are building out some mixed income housing, that, all of the affordable housing isn't coming to our district. And when we are talking about affordable housing, that it needs to be not just apartments, but it needs to be actual housing for young families to be able to move into. And so that looks like those $250,000 houses to 300 and $350,000 houses. Right now, there's a very big shortage of those. And so, people lean on real estate agents to find those. And how hard is it to find housing in that price range for these young families?
Yeah.
It does a disservice to the family and to the real estate agent. So we just really want to sit down with folks and strategize once this election season is over, building out a strategy for District 2 and how we can build out housing responsibly, because as we're talking about small businesses, looking at how we can build out the infrastructure for these communities that we are building so that we aren't asking for a grocery store for 50, 60 years, right? And that it doesn't have to be a Harris Teeter, that it can actually be a locally owned grocery
Yeah.
store that circulates money within our communities. And so we just have to think about things differently and look at how we can build from inside of our district and keep those dollars flowing.
Well,
So
we
how do
definitely want to
people?
be a part of that conversation,
Yeah.
lifestyle, because we are doing some things for 2026, calling it Move It Forward, where we are raising funds to help give back to the community. So we definitely want to be a part of the conversation, for sure.
Yeah, one of the first things we want to do, God willing, and we take the seat, right? Uh, is to have a town hall in the first 100 days in which we are building out the network that we need in passing down information from the city council down through to the community in ways that folks can actually show up at commission meetings to hear about planning and zoning and housing development and economic development, so that we have people in those rooms who can come back to the community and make sure that we are there when we need to tell people what we don't want and what we do want. But then that also works both ways, right? Thinking about how to get information out, also using those same networks to get information in, so that council members are hearing directly from the community, but not just in that way, but making sure that we are also having those town halls so that we can be sitting in the rooms with community and have real conversation face to face, rather than through emails or secondary people. So there's so much that's going to happen in that town hall, and it's just the beginning of getting staff and the folks in our community together to start these conversations on who is the contact person, who's that contact person going to reach out to when it's around planning and zoning, when it's around economic development, when it's around, and just kind of building that coalition out.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for putting that together. And we will, we're going to make sure we're voting.
But
There
we'll
is
definitely
that.
be a part of the conversation as well.
Yes.
Yes.
And
It's about putting people first, like always. I'm a grassroots organizer on top of everything else that we do, and that is about building these coalitions and bringing people in and challenging power. So even if I do get into that seat, it is still keeping accountable to the people in my community and in my district.
absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us next week for Wow Wednesday. If you are a small business in the Greensboro area or even the Triad, just still come out and network with us.
Triad. Yes. And you know what I want to say to a lot of people who have these thoughts of being a business owner or entrepreneur, you're having these thoughts for a reason. And the reason is it can happen.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be a thought in your mind if it's not something that could happen. So definitely push forward and make your dreams come to life, because it can. And what better way to do it than to come out to Wild Wednesdays?
Yes.
Where
So
you
we
can
look
meet a
forward
whole
to
bunch of different people to help point you in the right direction.
That's right. So we look forward to seeing you, Cece, and any small business owner, entrepreneur, real estate agent in the Triad. Come on out to Wild Wednesday. It is going to be Wednesday the 29th at the Continental Club in Greensboro from 6 p.m. And we're pretty good about getting done around 8, but we hang out and talk.
I was about to say,
so much fun.
And
It
our
was so
hostess,
much fun.
our hostess with the mostest, IVG baby,
Heck yeah.
will be in the building. So come on out. We look forward to meeting you. We look forward to supporting your business, and cannot wait to see you guys next Wednesday.
Yeah,
Thank
it is
you.
so much
It's gonna be
fun.
so much fun.
That sometimes I think the last time I left around 9:30.
Ooh.
And we stopped at 8. But it's so much fun, and it's so many great connections. You don't want to miss it. You definitely don't want to miss it.
All
I have to
right.
agree.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye, y'all.
Cece.
Later.